Ha, they say that my rise to the top is long overdue. I'm just trying to cop a 3-star Goku suit. A better yet, it's in Ketsu that fits over loose. Equipped with a light fiber microphone, my flow the truth. Don't let these haters rule over you like the student council. Cause if they see you making moves, then they'll never doubt you. Keep that scissor blade sharper than a surgeon's scalpel. I'm hungry like a back alley doc eating by the mouthful.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Let's Pull the Trigger on a podcast, the podcast where it's just the final episode. I mean, at least for Kill la Kill, we are done with Kill la Kill.
Yeah, we may or may not do the OVA.
We may or may not. I don't know yet. I mean, we're supposed to do everything Studio Trigger, but I don't know that the OVA can really add to anything. As far as
it's kind of just a couple fight scenes and tying up one loose end of the plot. It's not a major thing.
Yeah,
I have seen as many times as I've seen Kill la Kill, I've watched the OVA once. It was just kind of there.
Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe no.
Yeah.
So I'm joined as always by my good friend Doc C Monster. Hey Doc, how you doing?
I'm good. I finished my week at work, and I basically have next week off, so
Hey.
I'm looking forward to having some time to work on personal projects.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm all good.
Cool deal. See anything cool or interesting recently?
I've been watching WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
WandaVision's great.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Don't have a lot of complaints about that.
Are we okay to do spoilers for WandaVision, or should we not avoid it?
I mean, we just said spoilers for WandaVision, so if people don't want to be spoiled, they can skip around the episode until they get to we're not talking about it anymore. Just
sure. So just turn on subtitles and mute the podcast for a few minutes. But let's see. As of this recording, episode 5 is aired.
Mm-hmm.
I've really the first few episodes were fun. Kind of playing around with genre, kind of a parody, kind of like an ontological mystery. It's been pretty cool.
Right.
We get to see Monica Rambeau as an adult, and Monica Rambeau is one of my favorite comics characters.
She's good.
I had seen her in stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, and I liked her, but then I saw her in Next Wave, and Next Wave is my favorite comics ever.
Right. You've said so before on at least one of our podcasts.
Probably, like I said, it is my favorite. It is my favorite comic that I've ever read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Monica is 100% cool, and I like what they're doing with her in the show. She hasn't gotten her powers yet. I like that they're building her, that they're kind of fleshing her out as a character. I like that they're fleshing her out as a character first.
Well, here's my thing, right? Because she did they did the X-ray scan and got nothing back, and they couldn't process her blood sample. I think she has powers. She just doesn't.
Yeah, they just haven't manifested on screen yet.
Yeah.
But I'm super looking forward to the first moment that she just blasts some chump with an energy pulse, just straight up photon blast or whatever they're gonna call it in the MCU.
Right.
That's gonna be one of my. I just know that's gonna be one of my favorite moments in the whole MCU.
It's gonna be good.
And then at the end of episode 5, they did the thing.
I can't believe they recast Pietro.
I kind of suspected they would do the thing, but it would be. It's more okay. It'd be cool if they did this. There's a chance they might do it, but there's no way they would really do it. And then they fucking did it.
And then they did it.
They did the thing.
For anybody who I guess is hanging around and listening to these spoilers, but hasn't watched WandaVision, Pietro's back, but he's not. He is and he isn't. You know.
He is played by Evan Peters, who you will know as the Fox X-Men movie version of Quicksilver.
Yes.
From the prequel series.
Yes. So so was he recast? Yes and no.
Like reacts to him as if he is Pietro.
She does, but I don't. Does she?
Yeah, Wanda is like we still don't know how much control Wanda actually has over herself and like how aware she is of what's going on. Like she's clearly thinks she's in control, but like she doesn't seem to be entirely aware of what's going on at the same time. It's a really weird, ambiguous situation, and like I said, it's an ontological mystery. Ontological mysteries are always really interesting.
Right.
If you don't know if you haven't heard the phrase ontological mystery before, it's mysteries where it's like a closed circle where all the characters are like in one place and nobody really knows what's going on around them. Um, a lot of Twilight Zone episodes are ontological mysteries. If you watch the old Twilight Zone, and that's definitely one of the things that WandaVision is taking its cues from.
Yeah.
Like as much as it's referencing old sitcoms, it's also doing a little bit of Twilight Zone. Or at least, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, that type of anthology sci-fi type show.
Right.
Let's see. I believe, and that's about all I've been doing lately. Just work, WandaVision. I've watched some episodes of Sonic Boom, which is it's a shit post. It's just a Sonic the Hedgehog shit post.
I mean, that's one way to put it.
It's fun. It's fun and funny, but it is just a shit post. It's just it's like a sitcom starring Sonic characters.
Yeah. I've seen a few episodes.
There are action scenes, and it is technically an action adventure series, but for the most part, it's like sitcom plots. It is a sitcom with Sonic characters. That's kind of a weird segue from one sitcom parody to another, but
right.
Point is, I've been enjoying it. I'm not marathoning it. Because the episodes are only 12 minutes long, so I'm just watching one or two when I don't have anything else to do.
Fair.
And besides that and work, listen to a lot of music. But I'm always listening to a lot of music. A band you might not have heard of, but is really good. The Orion Experience.
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
The Orion Experience is really good. And working on writing projects. And that's about it lately. And I believe it's time for you to say what you've been doing, which includes Wrestling Corner.
Wrestling's happening. It's always happening. That's what wrestling does. Never stops. Never sleeps. We talked about the big gay block last week, right?
Sound familiar? A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have to talk about it this week. See? But what we do have to talk about is AEW has finally listed who will be in their women's tournament for the title, to be the number one contender for the title. So what AEW is doing is they're holding a tournament. On one side will be wrestlers in America. On the other side of the brackets will be wrestlers in Japan. And each side will wrestle down until there's just two left, and then they'll have a big match in America. So
that sounds pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, I don't know how many episodes we're getting, or how many matches we'll get per episode, because they are taping the Japanese matches, because of course, they have to. They can't just cut to Japan live at whatever time it would be in Japan, just like really early or really late. But some really cool names out of Japan are in the tournament, such as Asia Kong and Maki Ito. Real excited for Maki. She's not the best wrestler, so I don't know if she will win. I would like to see her like in AEW, like for real, instead of like just in this tournament as a one-time thing. But we'll see. She's real fun to watch, so she got good character work, which I have said of one Britt Baker, character work does not make a wrestler, in my opinion.
What time does AEW air live?
It starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time, so that's like 7 Central. Because it starts 5 o'clock for me.
Okay, well, Japan's about 9 hours behind Central Time.
Or ahead.
Or ahead. Yeah. So they'd be, if they were doing it live, it would be like late morning, like around 8 to 10 o'clock, depending.
Yeah, nobody wants to be wrestling at 8 or 10 o'clock in the morning.
Probably not.
So yeah.
I don't know. I've never wrestled. I've never done a sport.
A sport.
I have never done a sports.
As somebody who had to like get up and play soccer like early in the morning, not fun. Sucky to do a sport in the morning.
Presumably.
We're gonna get. Oh man. I really like. Well, hey, I'm here. I just had to like pause because I can't believe I'm saying this. So AEW, because I mostly watch AEW. It's just what I watch, right?
Yeah.
They had a tag team battle royale, which was an absolute clusterfuck for a little bit because there's just like they had all the tag teams in a single ring, and AEW is a tag team company, so it's a lot. Anyway, to see who would challenge the Young Bucks at Revolution for the tag team titles. Revolution's one of their bigger pay-per-views. And the team that won was Chris Jericho and MJF. They just formed their tag team like last month. And I don't feel that they should have won. At all. Like, they just formed the team. And I feel like if we're going to watch a Young Bucks match on a pay-per-view, it should probably be with a team that could keep up with them. And neither Chris Jericho nor MJF wrestle in a style that is fast. And the Young Bucks they're animated on ones. if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just the quick. So I'm not excited for that match at all. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe it'll be fun. Maybe it'll be some good storytelling. But otherwise, meh. I would have rather just about anybody else win, including the Bucks themselves. It was like if they won, they were going to get to pick their own opponents, and they were like eyeing the Good Brothers from Impact, and that would have been cool. I would have appreciated that, but nope. Not cool. And then we got announced a crazy match for next week. Because at the end of Dynamite, and I'm just like throwing out names that like if you don't watch wrestling, you don't know. At the end of Dynamite, after a big 6-man tag event from Jon Moxley, Rey Fenix, and Pac versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers, Kenta from New Japan Pro Wrestling appeared at the end of the match to attack Moxley because he is challenging Moxley for the New Japan US title, which Moxley has been the champion, the holder of for over a year, mostly because of COVID. He has not wrestled for that title in over a year because, travel restrictions. So Kenta appearing is insane to begin with because for a while, New Japan wouldn't even talk to AEW. lots of bad blood there, or there was with the old.
Was there any reason for the bad blood?
Well, okay, so the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and Cody Rhodes, who are all EVPs of AEW now. Before that, they were signed to New Japan, and Kenny Omega especially, New Japan was like going to like really push. He's always been a really good wrestler, but they were going to like give him like a really giant push, like give him like the title, like one of the world titles, if I'm not mistaken. And then he told them, you know, after talking with the Bucks and Cody Rhodes and Tony Khan, he like, you know, they told New Japan, hey, we're leaving the country, the company. We're not renewing our contracts. We're going to start our own wrestling business. And then, so, you know, New Japan felt a little betrayed, or at least Harold Meiji felt betrayed. And since Harold's gone, he's no longer like the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. It seems like relations have opened up, at least enough that we're getting fucking Kenta on AEW programming. It's not just like the one-off either. He is going to be in a match next week, teaming with Kenny Omega against Lance Archer and Jon Moxley in a no disqualification, falls count anywhere match, which is going to be insane. The craziest thing about this particular match is Jon Moxley holds the U.S. New Japan title. He won it from Lance Archer, who he's teaming with. Kenta is challenging him for it in New Japan in a couple weeks. And Kenny Omega is the first ever holder of that belt. So there's just like a lot of like New Japan U.S. title history in this one match. It's crazy. It's just like, this is good. I just like seeing Lance Archer in a no disqualification match because he's crazy. Not this week, but last week, he picked up Eddie Kingston and gave him a chokeslam from inside the ring to outside the ring, which was really brutal to watch. You can watch it online. They put that entire match on YouTube because there was technical difficulties during the broadcast. So they put that up there for free. You could watch that at any time. And I suggest you do. If you like wrestling. Like, if you don't like wrestling, you know, don't watch it. Which is to segue into a little thing I have to say to people who don't watch wrestling. Stop telling me and other people that wrestling is fake. We know that it's scripted. We get that. Like, you know, do you go to the movies and tell everybody, hey y'all, this isn't real. This didn't actually happen. It's scripted. There's a script. Like, do you do that? No? Shut up then.
Yeah. Nobody thinks it's real except for like little kids.
Yeah.
Everyone who is into it and is like, and like has a developed brain knows that it is a performance. It's not that it's fake. It's not any more fake than a movie or a TV show or a play. It's a performance.
Yeah.
These are actors who do scripted lines and perform stunts on camera. Like I don't watch wrestling, but I get it. So it's I know it's not real, but like nothing is real. Yeah. Almost every form of entertainment is in some way artificial.
Exactly. Especially if you're one of those people who likes reality TV, quote unquote.
Oh yeah.
That's all scripted.
Yeah. Like wrestling is probably less real than say like other live sports.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like a football game is not scripted. A baseball game is not scripted. Yeah, probably.
You hope
but
it's not fixed.
Yeah, like, but like everyone knows that the storyline parts of wrestling are scripted, and like the winners are predetermined.
Yeah. Now there are times where like things have to be done on the fly due to like accidents or whatever. A good example is when Jeff Hardy showed up to a TNA match, blitzed out of his fucking mind for the main event, and Sting basically they had like a 2-minute match. If I think maybe it might even just like a 1-minute match because Jeff Hardy was just so blitzed he could not. And everybody was real pissed about it. And even Sting was like, yeah, me too. To like the crowd, who was like, this sucks. He's like, yeah, I know. But generally, yeah, wrestling is predetermined, and we know, and we, the audience, don't know how it's going to turn out, but it is somewhere determined, like, this is how it's going to turn out. And that's part of the charm, in my opinion. Is like, even though it's scripted, predetermined, I still don't know how it's going to turn out. It's a show. Let me have fun.
Yeah, like John Mulaney has this joke about kids at sleepovers who are like, "Oh, it's after midnight, so it's tomorrow." Technically,
Right.
It's like, okay, you're not wrong, but you're being overly literal in a way, and like you're saying a thing everyone already knows,
Right.
but being smug about it. That's what you sound like when you say wrestling is fake.
Exactly.
You're not wrong, but you are being a jerk.
Agreed. All right. Sorry, it's just like I got into it with somebody the other day.
It's fine. I've been in so many stupid internet arguments for the past 2 weeks. I've been in like 4, and I don't know why. I hate it, but okay. I'm a dumb bipolar Taurus. I can't not argue with people.
You want to talk about Kill la Kill?
I'd love to.
All right. This week we watched episode 24, Past the Infinite Darkness, the very last episode of the series. And what a ride. Like, this show goes out with a bang.
It's an absolute showstopper of a finale.
Which it needs to be.
Yeah.
So,
presumably that's actually the etymology of the word showstopper. It is the final thing of a show.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
I know what words mean.
So we open right away to, like, we're panning through the city. It's pretty neat shots over the Naked Blade and into the academy, where everybody in their Goku uniforms is charging the receiver or the transponder. Sagayama forms a tower with a bunch of 1-stars to attack this thing, and no good at all. Actually bad. It just deflects them. It's pretty funny. Lori tells us that, it's the high velocity life fiber jammer. It spins tiny life fibers at high speed too. Then he just gets ignored by Mako. Says it's a big rubber barrier. Thank you, Mako.
Yeah.
Sagayama gets admonished by the rest of the Elite Four, and everybody's like, how the fuck are we going to break through this thing? Because we have to stop it from, like, sending the signal to cover the world in life fibers. This is a problem. Meanwhile, our 2 intrepid girls are trying to fight Ragyo in her new super camway. It's super. It's better than all the others. Well, Satsuki's trying. Ryoko's busy with Nui for some reason, instead of just fucking Nui up. Like you would think. I don't know. Anyway, Ragyo's like, this is boring and I'm done with it. It's just annoying at this point. Let me show you something real cool. And she lets out a blinding light that makes everybody's Goku uniforms and both Kamui's revert back to like regular clothes, untransformed. No powers are happening now. And she's like, this is absolute submission. Every light fiber must listen to me. Ryoko's like, what the fuck is wrong here? He's like, I don't know. When I'm hit by that light, my body is just paralyzed with fear. Ryoko's like, yeah. The Shinra Kotetsu is the master of all life fibers. Life fibers who rebel against it tremble in fear and are rendered powerless. And so she's like, this is absolute submission. She snaps her finger and projectors appear from the transmitter, showing people from all around the world. She's like, look at all these people. They're wearing clothing made by Revox. When I unleash the power of the absolute submission from across the world, the dormant life fibers inside of the Revox clothing will awaken, and every last human will be swallowed up by their clothing, and the earth will be covered in a single piece of cloth. The earth will become a cocoon sphere, and the new life fibers that will be born will scatter across the cosmos. Basically the plan we already knew about. Nui loves this. She's like, this is the best. But Ragyo's like, you all have no way to oppose me anymore. You might as well just give up. Which leads Mitsusuki and the Mohawk guy to combine their DTRs into like a mech, which immediately gets knocked away. They're like, we're here to stop you. And she's like, no, shut up. You're beneath my notice.
So it's not on screen for long, but the way the double naked DTR combines is a reference to the symmetrical docking robots of Gao Gaigar.
Ah, neat.
Like, because it's kind of like, it's not really like a top and bottom. It's like they're like parallel sides of it.
Right.
So, like, I think that's a reference. It might not be, but that's what it seems to be to me.
Fair enough.
Because because similar to the Elite Four's uniforms, there's not like direct style references.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's not like direct one-to-one references, but it's like stylistic references.
Right.
So, anyway, moving on.
Nui says, hey, aren't you going to kill these people? And she's like, nah, after all, they're precious energy sources for the original life fiber. And then she resurrects the original life fiber, which becomes like a wave of like water, red water. It's still thread, I guess. I don't know. But it just swirls up and
It's like individual fibers.
Yeah, it's like individual fibers. Like just swirls up around the academy grounds and starts swallowing people up. And Ryoko's like, wait a minute, that thing's still alive? And she's like, yeah, the original life fiber was going to absorb you and your friends, restore self to health. And yeah, you know, that trick you tried to do last episode that risked your life, that was all for fucking nothing. This is when Gamagori appears. He is struggling up the stairs. He's carrying everybody else, including Mako. And he's just doing it by sheer force of will.
Yeah.
Nui's like, wow, you must have superhuman strength to be able to move in the absolute submission field. But it's no use. Humans are slaves to clothes. And that relationship will never change. This leads Mako to, like, fall off Gamagori's back in a comical way onto her feet so she can do one of her classic Mako speeches. And she's like, that's not true. Ryuko and Seketsu, neither one of them are the boss. They're like equal. They're both the same. And so they have a lovely partnership between human clothing, which Nui cuts right into. She's like, I hate this. I hate you and this thing you do, and I'm going to kill you now. That's what's happening.
Nui is jealous of Mako as fuck.
She is.
Like she knows that Ryuko has eyes for literally one person in the world.
And it's not her.
It's not her.
It's not Nui. She goes to stab Mako, but Mako's protected by none other than Gamagori. He's like, I am the Hinoji Academy Disciplinary Committee Chair. Ira Gamagori. I will not let a single hair be harmed on Lady Satsuki or any of the students at Hinoji Academy. I am the living shield. And he like throws Nui away, then falls over, presumably dead. Well, at least presumably bleeding out. Nui just changes her arms after being thrown into like wings to come back for like another attack. When we see just behind her, Sanketsu is just sitting by itself. Like it's just standing there. And she notices because Ryoko's there to block the attack. And she's like, you're not going to fucking do shit. I'm here. She's like, I might not be able to use my Kamui, but I can still fight you on my own. Thanks to my life fibers inside my body. And they're like, she's like, I'm not human and I'm not clothing. I'm something in between. And right now I feel really grateful that my body is this way. Because it looks like I'm the only one the absolute submission field isn't working on. And so she and Nui exchange blows. We cut over to Mako, who's like, hey, Kamakori, are you okay? And he's like, well, are you safe? Means it was worth it, even as I lay here dying. And Mako's like, oh, this sucks. She does shed some tears for Gamagori, which I suppose leads heterosexual people to believe that she has feelings in that way for Gamagori, and not that just like Gamagori is her friend who may or may not have sacrificed his life for her.
Like, the two are clearly friends. Like, they like each other, and Gamagori just does have a thing for her.
Oh yeah,
over the that develops over the course of the series. But like, we're gonna circle around to this when we get to the end of the show, the end of the episode. I have a thing.
Everybody's real bummed out that Kamagori is on the ground, apparently dead. And we cut over to Ryuko and then back over to Ragyo, who's holding a big ball of light. She's like, right here, Ryuko. The absolute submission field is being powered by Homaru as she sleeps here. So if you want to like stop this is where you need to aim. And Ryuko goes in for the attack, but without her Kamui, she's just not quick enough to keep up with Ragyo, who continuously beats her down. Sanketsu cries out like, hey, be careful, watch out. To which Satsuki says, hey, calm down. And the two share dialogue, which Sanketsu's like, wait a minute, you can hear me? You can understand me? She's like, yeah, I can. And that's when Sanketsu is like, so this is it. He realizes something. The communication hub tower thing grabs Satsuki and the Elite Four and goes to basically absorb them, wrapping them up, as Ragyo grabs a hold of Ryoko's neck, which, by the way, what is up with her arm in this frame? It's like got 4 bends. You got the shoulder, then you go down to the obvious elbow area, and then as you go up, it like bends in the middle of the forearm, and then at the wrist. It's like a weird praying mantis arm.
Like, Kill la Kill is pretty casual with the squash and stretch.
Yeah, that's true.
But sometimes it does get weird.
It does indeed. But Ragyo's like, they're going to become part of the original life fiber and send the message to cover the world. And that's when she gets impaled by Sanketsu. Straight up. And she's like, what the fuck? He's like, hey, I'm just like Ryuko. I'm neither clothing nor human. And then he transforms into the Shippu and just spins the fuck out. Not only going all the way through Ragyo, but managing to knock Homaru just out of whatever sleep state she was in to make the submission field work. We just watch her body fall and hit some junk, and we never see her again.
Nope. She's out of the episode. She was unimportant. She's gone now.
She's unimportant. She's gone now. But as the submission field breaks, everybody's like, oh my god, we can move. We can fight! And so they transform. Everybody transforms. The 1 stars, the 2 stars, the Elite Four, Satsuki, Everybody's ready to attack the tower. Mako saves the two nudists. And Ryuko puts Senketsu back on. She's like, yeah, way to go, Senketsu. We get more monologuing for Satsuki. She loves some monologue. She gets it from Ragyo. But she's like, this is the power of those you ridicule to shams. Ragyo's like, how could a mere knockoff do this to me? And Ryuko's like, he's not a knockoff. He's my friend. She's like, well, and we get a bunch of dialogue between Ryuko, Senketsu, and Ragyo as they both kind of talk at Ragyo. Senketsu says, when Satsuki heard my voice, that's when I realized I had been given the same power as Ryuko. I'm not human and not clothing. And then they transform. And they start fighting with Ragyo. A solid headbutt. Both the sisters now have scissors. And one have a scissor blade each, I should say. And they go in for huge attacks, which really cut up Ragyo. They vivisect her, quadrisect her, whatever you want to call it. But before that...
they give her the old slap chop.
Yeah. Before that, Satsuki tells the Elite Four to take care of the transmitter, and they're met by an army of Nuis who attack the Tower of One Stars, holding them up. But it's no problem for the Elite Four, as they just take one Nui down after another. They're like, this, you're all cheap like imitations, you're not really worth our time. But at the same time, there's no end to them, and they'll never reach the transmitter. This is when Gamagori appears. He's like, I'm here. And he transforms too. He's like, I'm fine because I was wearing a shielded plate on my guts for my family's ironworks, just to be safe. So
just like he was in the flashback to when he met Satsuki.
Exactly, yeah. He's like, so it really hurt, but it was nothing. And Nananon says, hey, could you shut up and not act tough when all you did was pass out? But Gamagori does do a big transformation to attack the life fiber field that is keeping everybody away from the transmitter. And he starts pulling it apart, which is very cool. He's like, behold the power of my freed ego, the shackles undone, and all that pride cast aside. His face then appears on his stomach.
Yeah, in a reference to Gurren Lagann with the
Yeah.
two faces.
Two faces. Which there will forever be references to Gurren Lagann. Forever.
There's a few over the course of the episode, like, things
I
spinning
just
and
meant in
drilling.
their catalog of shows. There's certainly one in Promare, there's a lot in Promare, but there's also one in Little Witch Academia. So I don't know about the next show we're watching, or
I know nothing about it.
So we'll find out if we get a nice Gurren Lagann reference. I just think they can't help themselves. They're like, hey, remember that most of our people worked on Gurren Lagann, and here's how you know.
Like, I really like Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann's fun, but I think I do like Kill la Kill more.
That's fair.
Just like, as much as I like Mecha, moving on.
Okay. So he rips the field apart, or he rips a big old opening in it, and then he sends energy blast of his own face at the tower, busting it open, which leads Mitsusuki and the Mohawk guy to abandon their DTR as a missile inside this thing and explode it. So that's going to put a stop to the whole sending the life fiber signal, because the transmitter's gone. They done did it. This is when Ragyo gets vivisected, just chopped to pieces. And everybody's like, yeah, we won, we did it. Even as Ragyo's like, this is impossible. Satsuki says, your plan for the cocoon spirit nativity has come undone. And Ragyo's like, oh, really? Has it? Nui, could you sacrifice your body for me? And Nui's like, oh, fucking yeah. Yeah, I could do that. She calls her mama. And apparently she's the third of the Kieran sisters. Unbeknownst to Ryuko and Satsuki.
I mean, she is basically, but it's not really referenced except for like in this moment.
Right. But she gets absorbed by the original life fiber, becomes the original life fiber. It's a lot. Her face is like, the original life fiber now has her face.
Yeah.
Ragyo says, Nui, my poor daughter, the life fibers in your body were too powerful, preventing you from ever donning the life fibers, so you became them. And then Ragyo absorbs Nui and the original life fiber. Instead of the fibers being red, they become all rainbow color. And she's like, Nui, you can wear me. And Nui's like, no, you're wearing me. It's like a whole thing.
Yeah. And then she basically like fades away.
Yeah, Nui fades away.
Like, I feel a little bad for Nui because Ragyo basically eats her.
Right. It's Vor.
Like, I like Nui on account of her being a very fun to watch for me, but like she was also like a violent psychopath, so there wasn't really a happy ending in the cards for her.
No, there was not.
It's like she's fun, but she's also kind of a tragic character, which is a good thing, a good way to do villains. I think characters that kind of blend fun and tragic.
Right. I agree. Ragyo turns into a rocket. Like, she reforms the Shinriko Tetsu, turns into a rocket, and blasts off into space.
Yeah, Ragyo does the jet-powered bitch thing.
And everyone's like, oh no, she's going to connect to the satellite directly to send the signal. What are we going to do? We're just, like, focusing on Ryuko, panning in slowly. They're like, well, we have our Goku uniforms now. It's not like before. So we can fight back. Or can they? We'll find out. Ragyo abandons all the rockets that got her into space and then touches her lips to the satellite. Which is just weird to me. I mean, I get it. She just had to make contact. That's just a weird way to make contact with the satellite, in my opinion.
Well, if you haven't watched the series, or and I don't know why you're listening to this if you haven't watched the series, but the satellite is shaped like a pair of lips.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's like shaped like a giant pair of lips. It's a whole Rocky Horror logo in space.
Fair enough.
And like the little transmitter point thing that Ragyo like makes contact with, kind of looks like a tube of lipstick.
Yeah.
It's a weird whole lips thing, but like we'll come back to it because it pops up later in the episode.
Yeah. So the signal gets sent all over the world, and clothing just becomes cocoons for people and floats into the air. Satsuki is watching. She's like, oh man, it's begun. To which Ryuko says, I'll go. I'll do it. They're like, what? She's like, before Ryuko can like really respond, Mako says, hey, Ryuko, let's go on a date. Listen, when you get back, let's go on a date. And they like the little things that she's doing in her shtick, like holding hands on a bench, kissing Ryuko twice.
So yeah, Mako asked Ryuko out on a date. That's kind of weird. Hey Lilith,
yeah.
Do you think these two girls might be gay? Possibly.
No, they're.
Everything.
Straight.
I mean, everything we've seen between them so far has been very heterosexual.
Very heterosexual. I don't know how you can make this distinction. She's only talking about holding hands and kissing Ryuko.
But is it like a friend date or is it like a date date? Is it is it like
I mean, you
you
always
know?
kiss the homies.
Well, I mean, I don't know. If they were European, you kiss your friends. Like in Europe, you kiss your friends. But they're Japanese, so.
No, they're just very European. In Japan.
I mean, Nui and Ragyo speak French, but I don't know if that's relevant.
I mean, they certainly speak French to each other. Um,
Uh,
hey, that's what.
so much.
Look,
There's so much fucking incest in this show.
there is.
It's actually not that much, but there's still too much.
There's too much. But Mako's like, you're making this world where girls can eat ice cream and go shopping while wearing cute dresses and cute accessories. So let's go on a date. We're going to get all dolled up without fear. And then she kisses Ryuko again.
It's real gay.
It's super gay. And I'll talk more about this later, but
like this is the most explicitly gay scene, but I still think that the wedding interruption is like, even though it's more subtext,
right.
It's still like it's that is gayer than this.
Fair enough.
This is gayer than literally two women on a romantic date.
But she's like, we're gonna go out without fear, and Ryoko's like, yeah, we're gonna go out. It's gonna be cool. Satsuki breaks into this nonsense like, hey, the survival of the human race is on your shoulders, so go do this thing. And this is when Ryuko and Sanketsu absorb all the life fibers from every Goku uniform around them. She de-transforms everyone. There's a lot of nudity now, which has a bunch of tasteful, light lines to cover bits.
There's light and there's fog
and there's steam, Ryuko mega transforms into supersonic.
Ryuko is a whole ass Super Saiyan.
She's a Super Saiyan, supersonic. Take your pick. Her outfit is all red now. Her hair is golden. Her outfit's her outfit's golden and red, but her hair is just all gold.
Yeah.
She's gone where no other Saiyan has gone. Into legend. The legendary Super Saiyan. She's not your dealing with average life fiber user anymore. Sorry. Ryuko becomes a rocket and blasts off into space.
Yes.
Ragyo's looking down the world. She's like, this is the best. This is great. I did it. I'm awesome. And then she's like, wait, what the fuck is coming at me? And that's when Ryuko knocks her off the satellite. She's like, oh, I see. You made a patchwork of your own comedy to try to combat me, but you're too late. I already covered the world in life fibers. Look at it. The signal reached out. Life fibers are all across the world, have already transformed. Humanity's over. This can't be stopped. And Ryuko's like, I can't give up that easily. I have a date to go on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fuck the world. I have a date. She combines the two halves of the scissor blades into scissors, which is something I guess she could have done this whole time. A screw appears out of nowhere to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, and the screw drills into the two scissors, yeah. like Simone's core drill.
Yes.
Like I said, there's a few stray references to Gurren Lagann in the show. In this episode, rather. Ragyo says, you and your nonsense. Two girls on a date? I don't think so. Ragyo's all rainbows. Does not believe in the power of love, I guess. Nope, she is inhuman monster in every respect.
She is. Ryuko goes to attacks with the scissors. Does not work. And Ragyo's like, what's the matter? Oh, that's right. Those scissor blades are also just made of life fibers, and they're powerless before the absolute submission, which is the master of all life fibers, which is me. So life fibers cannot fucking hurt me, stupid. But they can hurt you. So she attacks Ryuko with tentacles. Spiky tentacles. And the two have a fight across the world. And Ragyo once again is just monologuing. He's like, "Oh, you're caught up in your father's dying wish. You have all this power, but you don't understand the truth of life fibers. Like, look at the world, look at the sun, look at all the stars, the galaxies. This is the cosmos. But one day, even this beautiful vista will be destroyed. Creation and destruction have been preordained since the galaxy was born. The life fibers work in the same way. They're a part of the law of the universe." This is a real Gynax kind of moment in this ending.
Yeah. And Ryuko just doesn't give a fuck.
Ryuko does not give a fuck. She even says, "When are you gonna fucking quit monologuing? This is bullshit."
This reminds me of a thing me and some of my friends used to do. We just go up to each other sometimes and say, just shout, "I'm tired of your shit." The dumb things.
Right.
The dumb things people do.
The dumb things people do. Ragyo says, "How can my very own daughter be so dense?" And she's like, "I wasn't raised by you." She's like, "All right, that was the mistake." And she stabs Ryuko again. To which Ryuko just keeps healing. She's got a healing factor that puts Wolverine to shame.
Yeah.
And she's like, "It'll take more than that to do me in." To which Ragyo says, "I must be subconsciously pulling my punches because you're my daughter. Apparently I still have some humanity within me. I'll just get rid of that." And she transforms her hair into horns, makes even more tentacles, and just goes to fucking town, stabbing the shit out of Ryuko. Ryuko's like, "Look, I want to decide when I die, not you," and goes in for the attack, and she is, not faring well. Ragyo is just whipping the shit out of her. But Ryuko,
but she's like regenerating as fast as she's regenerating faster than Ragyo can deal damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think Ryuko's regeneration even beats out like Cell at this point.
Yes.
Maybe not from the level of damage,
but just the quickness.
But certainly its speed.
Right. Senketsu says, "Hey, Ryuko, we are running out of time." And Ryoko's like, "Yeah, I know how to end this." She charges into Ragyo, who makes one large spike and just slams it all through Ryoko's torso, almost to just splitting her. And Ryoko's like, "Oh no! Except this was my plan." Ryuko reveals her master plan. She's like, "Did you forget? The closer I become to dying, the stronger I bounce back." And
like I said, a whole ass Super Saiyan.
Whole ass Super Saiyan. Ragyo's like, "Wait a minute, you deliberately got impaled?" She's like, "Yeah, I gritted my teeth and took a dose of tough love from Mom. And until Senketsu and I max out our growth." Ugh, that was a weird line to say. Ragyo says, "Yeah, okay, sure, but life fibers can't harm me, so what are you even going to do?" Ragyo's like, "Yeah, but what if I absorb your life fibers?" Huh? What are you going to do then? What if I absorb the absolute submission field? Dad's ultimate weapon wasn't the scissors. It was me, and it was Senketsu. The two of us together. It's the infinite absorption ability he gave us. I realized it during our battle with your Shinra Kotetsu. Satsuki. Senketsu talks about the way I absorbed life fibers was meant to nourish my power. I'm evolving. I have free will. I can make myself be understood by humans. We're neither human nor clothing, but at the same time, we are both human and clothing. We're everything. People can't become clothing. People are people, and clothing is clothing. Ragyo's like, "What the fuck is this nonsense that you're spouting?" To which Ryuko replies, "Nonsense is our whole thing."
More Gurren Lagann references.
Yeah, more Gurren Lagann references. Ryuko goes beyond a Super Saiyan. She pushes it to the max and grabs
Maximum Over Saiyan.
maximum Over Saiyan. Everything is just in pencils now, which is pretty cool. She screams into the satellite that life fibers should let go of people because humans are humans, so turn all the humans back into humans. And the life fibers listen to her and do that. Because why not? They just sort of dissolve into nothing, and humans fall back to Earth. Everybody on the planet will survive this. We cut over to Satsuki and gang and crew, and her butler's like, "Hey, I guess it's finally over." She's like, "Yeah, I'm finally free of the past karma of the Kurins." And everybody just like looks happy, except for Ragyo, who's naked in space.
Places you don't want to be naked. Number one.
Right?
Space.
Space. She's like, "I can't believe this is happening. Everything is returning to nothing." And Ryo's like, "Yeah, that's right. The Earth will never be a cocoon sphere now. Come peacefully back to Earth with me." And Ragyo responds by saying, "No, fuck that. Pathetic." She rips out her own heart and says, "I will decide how I die. I'll carry out your words first."
Yeah, so like Ryuko gives the villain one final shot at surrender. Not really redemption, but like at least mercy.
Mm-hmm.
But Ragyo's a kill-stealing bitch and offs herself.
Yes.
So like the two human villains over that for the whole series both kill themselves. So Ryuko makes it through the whole series without actually murdering anybody.
She does. Good on her. But Ragyo
Like, I don't
rips
think
out...
it-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like I don't think it would have been bad per se if she had, because it's not. It's, but like at the end of the day, Ryuko's hands are clean.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ragyo has ripped out her own heart. She says, "This is not the end. The life fibers are continuing their advance across the cosmos. More will come to this world. Of that you can be sure." And Ryoko's like, "Even if they do, people will go on being people. Of that you can be sure." And that's when Ragyo crushes her own heart and explodes into life fibers. And Ryoko's like, "Wow, that was dramatic." Senketsu's like, "Let's go home," but he's falling apart. And Ryoko's like, what's going on? He's like, the Shinryoku Tetsu's power was way greater than I thought it was, and so I'm dying, but there's not enough time. Let's just go back to Earth." And he pulls her into the atmosphere and blocks her from re-entry. And they're having a final discussion, which is very touching, where she's like pleading with Senketsu to like not die, but Senketsu's like, "No, I'm out of power. I'm dying anyway, so it's okay that I'm, protecting you in the end. I'm sure your father is satisfied with you having a wonderful life." Ryoko's like, "Hey, stop sounding like you're wrapping things up. This isn't cool." To which Senketsu says, "Hey, there's always a time when a girl has to outgrow her sailor uniform. From now on, wear whatever you want. Clothing that is cuter than I." To which Ryoko's like, "Fine, I'm going to do that. I want to wear clothing that's going to make you jealous." Just as Senketsu dissolves into nothing. Like, it's real quick. He's like there and then he's gone.
Okay, so this is really heartfelt, dramatic.
Yeah.
But like normally, Ryuko and Senketsu can fly together. They can fucking fly. There's not really a reason for him to sacrifice himself like this. I don't see why they couldn't do a controlled descent.
Because he was running out of power.
I guess.
He was being torn apart from the trying to wield the power of the Shinra Kotetsu. It was too much for him.
I guess.
Just how it goes. He took the brunt of that instead of Ryoko also dying.
Yeah, heroic sacrifice.
So now Ryuko is just falling through the sky, unconscious for whatever reason. And she's sad. She's just sad girl now. But that's when she hears a voice. And she gets a flash of light. It's telling her to snap out of it. Snap out of it, Ryuko. And it's Satsuki. She's running across Honnouji Academy field as fast as she can. She leaps up, catches Ryuko. Ryuko, of course, is entering from space, so it's a pretty hot and heavy landing, causing Satsuki to like be pushed back. Mako goes and pushes on Satsuki to try to slow like their crash. They crash into the Elite Four, then into Mako's family, and then into all the students of Honnouji Academy until finally they crash into Honnouji Academy itself. All the 1-star students are dead.
Yeah.
But it's okay. The important characters survive.
The important characters all survive.
Satsuki says, "Welcome home." And Ryuko says, "It's good to be back, sister." And everybody's very touched.
Yeah, they're all naked and fucking touching each other. Everyone's tipped, all right.
Now that we're at the end of the series, I would like to comment that Mako's mom is really hot.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to say that before we close out.
Like, if you got a mommy kink, I don't know why you're looking at Ragyo at all when Tsukio's like right over there.
Right? She's a nice mom. She'll feed you. She's hot. Anyway, the sun rises. And the red hair mohawk guy says, "What's going to happen to all the remaining life fibers?" To which Mizutsuki says like, the same thing that just happened to all the other life fibers. They're going to decouple from people. They'll lose their energy source, and eventually they'll die off on their own. Like, Nudist Beach's purpose is now complete. We can finally get dressed.
Except for the ones in Ryuko's body.
Yeah. Like,
but I don't think that counts. I don't think Ryuko is going to be having to like be passing that on exactly.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. We just get a slow frame out of everybody. The tennis captain is the only person in this shot, if you're looking carefully enough, who seems put off by the fact that she is naked. Like, she's trying to cover herself. Everybody else is totally fine. But Mr. Sugi's like, we're going to have to take care of like the cleanup because those girls have a date. And then we get the end card. As it slowly pans out. The end, kill a kill. And we get, a credit sequence of like...
Epilogue.
Epilogue. We get an epilogue credit sequence, which is cool. Honnouji Academy and the city surrounding it are gone. Replaced, I suppose, by just like an actual real city.
Well, like the island that Hono Town was on, like sinks into the ocean.
Yeah, or is at least
like
removed.
Like technically, the epilogue takes place the epilogue takes place after the event of the OVA. But like in general, nothing happens aside from like some stuff with Homaru and the island that Hono Town is on sinks.
Oh, okay. Neat. So we just see Ryuko hanging out, checking her wrists. She's wearing a jacket and jeans.
And
very
a scarf.
Casual. And a scarf. Mako appears and hugs on her. Dances with her. And then they're walking up a hill. It's nice. It's casual. I don't know why Mako's need to push Ryuko up this hill, but she is. And that's when they come across Satsuki, who is cut off most of her hair. Because I'm not sure why, but in like Japanese culture, having shorter hair is seen as like a sign of maturity.
Yeah, if you've seen if you have read the first Pokemon manga, The Ultra Tale of Pikachu,
Hmm.
in the epilogue, Jesse and James have shortened hair
Yeah,
to show that they've like settled down.
they've settled down. They're more mature. Um, I don't understand the symbolism of that personally, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's one of those things that doesn't translate well.
Yeah.
But
Mako
like
and
the symbol,
Ryuko.
like,
Oh,
if
go
you know
ahead.
what symbolism is, it makes sense.
Yeah. Mako and Ryuko dance up to Satsuki in a weird way, take pictures with her, and then the three of them hang out. Apparently, this is the date, but they accidentally ran into Satsuki and invited her along, because why not? We do get a scene of Gamagori hiding around a corner with flowers and the rest of the Elite Four. And I guess this is meant to show that he's trying to ask somebody out, maybe Mako, but he never does. So
Yeah, not before the end of the scenes of the epilogue.
yeah. Ryoko spots a sailor uniform that looks like Senketsu. Miss touches her heart, showing that she does miss Senketsu a whole lot as she looks to the sky. And that's how the show closes out. On Ryoko, staring at the sky. But she's smiling. And that's it.
Far cry from her. Far cry from Ryuko at the start of the series, who's just kind of a grumpy asshole,
Right.
and in general spends most of her time either like angry or like sullen, the way like a fucking shonen anti-hero does. Like it's nice to like she is like happy and comfortable and safe at the end of the series, which is a nice like bookends.
Yes. Absolutely. It's a good closure for her character and the series in general. So, yeah, that's it. That's the end of Kill la Kill, folks. All in all, this is a show that can be really good at times and really shitty at other times.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like it's sine waves back and forth.
Like I said before, this is probably this is definitely one of my favorite anime. It's probably not my it's not my all-time 100% favorite, but I think it's really good.
Yep.
I think Excel Saga and Digimon have such a special place in my heart that they'll always be my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I'm just looking for something to just casually watch, I will absolutely throw on Kill la Kill, and because like there's a reason I've watched it like 5 times.
All right. So no questions. Again, I tried. I really did. We did get a comment on the question post. It says, no questions, just Nananan at Satsuki and Ryoko X Mako love.
Okay, so actually...
they said Makoto, but they meant Mako.
Yeah. Thank you for the comment. We appreciate it.
From Suezo Beam.
Those are 2 excellent ships.
Yes.
And like one is absolutely canon. The other one is most likely canon.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I should probably. Now I said I'd talk about Mako and Gamagori. Okay, so here's where I am about the 2 of them at this point in my life.
I hate it.
Okay, so
go on.
I actually used to get kind of hung up on it too, but like I've gotten a little bit more exposure to the world. And my opinion has kind of changed. Because like, if you ask me, Gamagori is in a polyamorous relationship. Satsuki in Elite Four is a polycule. Like, and I think that is undeniable.
Probably undeniable.
Like it's not. Like you can debate it, but like I think that's at least the way that relationship kind of hashes out.
Mm-hmm.
So Gamagori is a polyamorous person. So between the 2 of them, if Mako is interested, if Ryuko is okay with it, and Satsuki and the rest of the Elite Four are okay with it, I don't really see a problem with it. It's not something that like I ship or necessarily would want to see, but it doesn't. But based on the way I interpret the dynamics between all of these characters,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like upset by it.
I mean, I'm being a little hyperbole, hy- hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic, yes.
Sure, because it's pronounced hyperbole, so I'm not sure how you do it with an IC at the end. So anyway, I'm using some hyperbole. There we go. When I say that I hate it, because I don't hate it. I just mostly like, sort of in the way that I do not care for Makora, in that for like when Kill la Kill came out, like closer to when it came out, when I watched this back in the day, right back in like 2014. Like it came out in like 2013, but I watched it like 2014, 2015, in and around there. And I got to the end, I was like, "Whoa, this is awesome! This is like a real gay ending, like with Mako asking Ryuko out on a date and like them going on a date. This is cool." Only to like be told by other people who are probably homophobic, like, no, they didn't actually go out on a date. That's not true. We just don't understand Japanese culture and like how like platonic that was. And it's like,
Mako's friend has them kissing and holding hands.
yeah, I know.
Like she wants to kiss and hold hands with Ryuko.
It's very
Mako
gay.
has been 100% into Ryuko since they fucking met. It's like she like mimes how big Ryuko's tits are, and like they're gay as hell.
They are.
This is the only thing, like the only reason that Promare isn't the gayest thing that Studio Trigger has ever made, and mind you, Promare is gay as hell.
Promare is very gay.
The only reason it's not the gayest thing they've ever did is because Kill la Kill is so fucking gay.
Super gay. But I just remember those discussions, and I turned all that energy and dislike of those discussions in on the ship of Gamagori and Mako, because fuck it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't really ship them, but like my interpretation of the series, which is, I don't know if I'd call it a headcanon so much as like, I kind of get the vibe that this is how it works, you know?
Yeah.
Like I have an interpretation that I'm comfortable with, to where it doesn't bother me.
Right.
But that's me. You can come to your own conclusions. But it's clear that Ryuko and Mako are canonically a thing.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like there's been subtext, text, and super text the whole fucking series.
The whole series. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that.
Yeah.
Glad they got together.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, like a lot of people, towards the start of the series, I was very into Ryuko and Satsuki being a thing, enemies to lovers, and then they turned out to be sisters, and that felt bad. Felt very bad.
That's fine. That's a normal interpretation of like a hero and a rival, a hero character and a rival character.
Right.
They have that hot and cold running relationship that is really intense and fun to watch, and it's very easy to interpret that as romantic, like to have like romantic subtext or sexual tension.
Right.
That's just, but like it didn't work out that way, and it turns out they're sisters. It's not really a thing you should like pursue.
No, it's not. I'm just saying I do not, and you shouldn't either, folks. If you're out there shipping Satsuki and Ryuko, stop it.
Yeah, I don't go in for incest.
Yeah.
Like if that's your kink, if you have an incest kink, that's your fucking business. But like I don't go in for that. That's not that is not.
Sounds pretty
There's no
cringe
point.
to me.
Everything's cringe in some way, but like again, like it's like if that's your deal, that's your deal. I'm just like you do that over there, and I'll do my thing over here.
Right. Anything else to add?
We can talk about Mako and Ryuko a little bit more. Like, I thought, like, I could tell there was I could tell that was the thing that they were going for the whole series.
Well, yeah.
Like, I never really went with Satsuki and Ryuko because like Satsuki's stronger relationships was always with the Elite Four, and I used to joke that like it was a Dom and her group of subs type thing. I used to do that as a joke, but like I think that like I kind of like it, like I kind of like half joked, half meant it. And like Mako clearly had a thing for Ryuko.
Yeah.
Like that's like that is like that is the direction that the series was moving in the whole time. I think it was nice that it ended that way because like there's so many like on TV tropes it's called bait and switch lesbians, where you know two female characters have like an intense relationship the whole series, but at the end someone turns out to be straight, or at least in a heterosexual relationship.
Right.
And that has always bothered me. Like I remember I distinctly remember the first time I saw it. I think I've mentioned this anime to you before. Yeah, you've seen it. Bubblegum Crisis 2040.
Yeah.
Which is an anime I love. That's like the first non-kids anime I ever watched. When it was like airing on cable on like the Stars Network at like 11 o'clock at night once a week. This was back in like 2001. This is a long time ago. I was younger than I am now. But like and like between like 2001 and like 2012 or 2013 when Kill la Kill came out, it was an extremely common thing. Like no matter how much subtext you would get between two characters, or how like romantic the relationship seemed, or how much sexual attention there seemed to be, it would just kind of like fizzle.
Right.
And like Kill la Kill, maybe because society had moved forward to a point, maybe Studio Trigger just had the backbone to go through with it. And it was really nice to see. And like and within the next few years, like American media did catch up because like we got Steven Universe and Korosami. And now we've got the Owl House. The Owl House is great.
Owl is great.
I think the Owl House is still on. The new season of the Owl House hasn't come out yet, right?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Like the first season is out, and the second season has been like announced.
Yeah, the second season's happening. It's just there's a global pandemic.
That's true. That's fair.
And it makes it a little harder to like get together and like make cartoons. So
apparently they are in production, but they're doing it like over Zoom, like remotely from their homes. Exactly. So like it's ongoing.
It takes longer to do it that way.
I would rather people be safe in their homes than making me a cartoon I want to watch.
Right, exactly. So
I'll just watch Kill la Kill again while I wait.
Well, no, we're not watching Kill la Kill again. In fact, next week is when we're going to start When Supernatural Battles Became Commonplace, which is a show I didn't even know existed, but is available on Crunchyroll if you would like to watch along. Um,
Like I had heard of it,
I had never even heard of this thing.
but
It's based on a light novel, so that'll be interesting. It's only
I
12
kind
episodes long, so.
I had kind of fallen out of watching anime
Mm,
in like the last 10 years,
fair enough.
like from 2012 going forward. Like my life had changed a lot. My life changed a lot in 2011,
Mm,
and it and and like as far as anime, I was watching like maybe one a year or two. I've gotten back into it the past 3 or 4 years to where I'm watching more series at a time, but
right.
it's still like it's not the way it was. It's not the way I used to do it, where I would like buy uh DVDs every month and like watch everything that was on Adult Swim and Sci-Fi and cable.
Right.
I am not like absorbing it the way I used to, but like I still watch anime.
Hmm.
Slime season 2 is starting.
Yeah,
That's gonna be fun.
I'm watching it.
You watching it?
Yeah. I mean, I've already
I
read
haven't
it,
started
but you know.
Yeah, I haven't started on it, but like I'm looking forward to it. Slime is fun.
Slime is.
It's the second season. Is the second season still really fast paced?
It's got a weird pace.
Yeah, the only thing I have to complain about the first season is that it's the pace is really fast. It just goes from thing to thing like at a
Yeah.
breakneck speed. And like I guess that's good for it not like lingering. And it did come to a satisfying conclusion because they finished on like the orc arc. But
No, they went past
that
it.
was not that was a fast paced show. That was like a little
They
it was just fast enough to be awkward.
they went past the orc arc in the first season.
Did they?
Yes.
Jeez.
So that's only like half the first season.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because they went more stuff with like the demon lords.
There's the Chartabyss thing. Then Rimuru goes to school.
Right. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. Uh, sorry to cut in there, but season 1 has more than just the orcs. Which is, I mean, the orcs are good, but
It was like 7 or 8 months ago when I watched it.
fair enough.
Just sue me.
Okay, we'll do.
I will see you in court. I'll sue you in England.
Nice. So next,
I will sue you in I will sue you in England. I will sue you on a volcano. I will sue you on the moon.
on a boat with a goat in a coat. Speaking of on the moon, Paladins on the moon. It's happening. Final Fantasy 14. Anyway, next week, when supernatural battles become commonplace, after we finish those 12 episodes, we will be watching Little Witch Academia: The Enchanted Parade, which is a 55-minute film. Fun for us. Then after that is when things get a little complicated. Because both Space Patrol Lulico and Kinzenaver were produced at the exact same time.
I think it's Kisniver.
Kisniver. Technically, Space Lucolo started like earlier in the week, but they both started in like the same week.
Wait, the same week even?
Yeah, it's like April 1st, 2016 is when Space Patrol Lulico started, and April 9th, 2016 is when Kinsnaver started. Kinsniver, whatever. And they ended a day apart.
Okay, well here's the thing. It seems like we have two options. We can watch one and the other, or if we want to, we can alternate, do one episode, then one episode, then one episode, then one episode.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really want to do the latter right now.
We'll do the
because we're also doing because we're also doing Gravity Falls right now. If you're not watching if you're not listening to our Gravity Falls podcast, if you like what we're doing here, you should check out Pining for the Falls.
Yeah.
But like maybe if we finish Gravity Falls, we could do alternating days for those two, but I don't know. I think I'd rather just do one at a time.
We'll have to see how it plays out. I think we're just going to do one at a time.
Yeah.
So I think that's the end of this episode. I think we've talked everything we can. So where can people find you online if they want to talk to you about other stuff?
I am on Twitter way too much. I'm at Dr. C Monster. That is at DRC Monster. And find me on Twitter where you can see me arguing with Randa and talking about obscure 90s movies that me and very few other people care about.
All right.
If you've never seen the movie Oscar from like 1990,
no.
It's a really fun classic style farce with Sylvester Stallone as the main character, which you don't really think of Sylvester Stallone in comedy too much. But the thing is, he gets leverage out of his tough guy personality by playing the straight man in comedic stories. And I think it works really well in Oscar. It also works really well in Demolition Man, if you're a fan of Demolition Man, which I also am. But yeah, it's got Tim Curry. Tim Curry's in it. Tim Curry is always a treat. Tim Curry is my hero. I have loved everything I've ever seen Tim Curry in my entire life, and yeah, Tim Curry's the best.
Yeah. You can find me, as always, on Twitter at DatFirePrince, spelled D-A-T. You can find me on the numerous podcasts I do, including the one previously mentioned, I'm Pining for the Falls, where we do this, but for Gravity Falls. You can also find me on the Super Sentai Super Show, where me and Justice Ray go through seasons of Power Rangers, one at a time, episode by episode, but in random order. At least the seasons are random. We're going to do the episodes in order because that'd be too weird. Could not do it. Woof. And yeah, that's it. That's me. And so I think that's it. We'll see you next week for when supernatural battles became commonplace. I'm going to have to find a new intro and outro completely. Because Flow Regalia does not work for that. It's just how that goes. Anything else to add?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right. So until next time, for the last time, don't lose your way.
Don't lose your way! Hey!
Okay then. Bye.
Bye.
Ha, they say that my rise to the top is long overdue. I'm just trying to cop a 3-star Goku suit. Or better yet, a Senketsu that fits over loose. Equipped with a light fiber microphone, my flow the truth. Don't let these haters rule over you like the student council. Cause if they see you making moves, then they'll never doubt you. Keep that scissor blade sharper than a surgeon's scalpel. I'm hungry like a back alley docky and by the mouthful.